If you ask who was the greatest and most influential preacher of the 19th century, two names come to mind: Charles Spurgeon and Dwight L. Moody. In his lifetime, D.L. Moody preached the gospel to over 100 million people. To this day, the city of Chicago still bears the marks of his influence. There are publishing houses and colleges named after him. But had you known D.L. Moody at age 17, you would never have seen any of that coming. Moody dropped out of school after 5th grade. He worked for a few years on the family farm, and then he moved to Boston at age 17 to pursue fame and fortune in the big city. He had a hard time finding a job, but his uncle owned a shoe store in Boston, and so he went to his uncle and asked for a job, and his uncle made him a deal. He agreed to give D.L. Moody a job if Moody would agree to attend church every week. And so, D.L. Moody began attending Mount Vernon Congregational Church in Boston, and not even because he wanted to, just because his uncle made him agree to it. And at that church, he became part of a youth ministry led by a man named Edward Kimball. And one Saturday afternoon, Kimball stopped by Holton's shoe store and found Moody working there and began talking with him about Christ. Here's how D.L. Moody described that encounter years later. "I never forgot the day Kimball put his hand upon my shoulder and talked to me about Christ and my soul. I had not felt I even had a soul until then. I don't remember all that he said, but I can feel the power of that man's hand on my shoulder even tonight." Within a month, D.L. Moody had surrendered his life to Jesus Christ. He was discipled and mentored in the scriptures by Edward Kimball for a year before moving to Chicago, where he would spend the rest of his life in gospel ministry. Friends, you may have never heard of Edward Kimball until this moment. There are no colleges or publishing houses named after him. He'll never be named in the same sentence with Charles Spurgeon or Billy Graham. But 100 million people eventually heard the gospel because Edward Kimball volunteered in the student ministry at Mount Vernon Congregational Church. In the kingdom of God, friends, big things come from small beginnings.